Hello friends, I am K. Logeshwar Prakash, pursuing 30 BTech in Vishnu Institute of Technology. Now I am here to explain about the closures. Closures means a block of code with the help of which we can access the functions that are outside of our scope. These closures are mainly helpful in handling the events. When a function is assigned to particular variable, those variables are also has the value of the reference of the execution of the particular function. Even after the execution of the function, it still has the reference stored in it. So with the help of the reference or the legacy of the thread, we can still access those variables and methods inside the particular function. With the help of this, we can access them even if it is not in our scope. This is the main advantage of the closure. Now let us see with this following example. Here let us consider a bank account function. In this bank account function is initialized with the balance by taking an parameter of initial balance. So initially the balance contains the amount which we have given as the parameter, and later it consists of three methods of deposit, withdraw and get balance. And it is returning to the variable which it has called. Here we are calling the bank account function with the account variable, and the parameter is 100. So initially it has the balance of 100, and so now this bank account method is stored in account. So even after completion of the execution also it still consists of the reference to this particular method. So we can access the inner methods or the variables with the help of these variables in this manner. See, we are accessing account dot deposit of 50, account dot withdraw, and we can also access the method of get balance. In this way, the closures helps us to access the variables or methods which are not inside our scope. Next, async await. Async await is the concept which is popularly used in the asynchronous operations. We all know that Java is a single-threaded language, which means it can only execute only one function at a time. But there may exist some cases that the function which takes so long time to execute, another function takes only less time to execute. So in such manner, we have to give preference for the functions which takes less time for their execution. So to overcome the situations, we are using the async and await. Now let us consider this example. In this example, there is a function of get data. In this get data, it is a asynchronous operations. So here we can see, I can tell it is asynchronous operation by the keyword async. And inside this function, I am initializing a variable y with the value Prakash. It means it is an asynchronous operation, and it is going to initialize the value Prakash. And after it is going to print value y. Now I am calling this function along by printing two other values. So initially the value 1 will be printed and value 2 will be printed generally. But because it is a asynchronous operation, we can't tell which one will take less time. It will be executed first, either console.log1 or get data, and afterwards that it is going to print console.log2 or any of the possibility based on the shortest time. Now let us see. So here we can see 1, 2 and Prakash is printed. Now promise. Promise means it is an object representation of the eventual implementation of the asynchronous operation. It means when we have to perform a operation after a certain asynchronous operation, then we are going to use promise. Promise means establishing or performing a function after meeting certain conditions. So when a asynchronous operation is completed, and if we want to perform another operation by applying certain conditions in such manner or scenarios, we are going to use promise. So here we can see it is a promise and we are going to initialize the promise in such a manner. This promise also consists of three states: fulfilled, rejected, and pending. Fulfilled means the conditions are successfully satisfied. Rejected means the conditions are not satisfied, and pending. Uh, Pending state means it is awaiting. Now, in this promise, so here we can see resolve. This part of code will be executed when when the condition is successfully met, and reject when the condition is not met. So I have taken the condition of x equal to 0. So when x equal to 0, this part will be executed, and when x is not equal to 0, this part will be executed. And this is for printing the values. So here when the promise is initialized, it is going to check x is equal to 0 or not. In this case, x is not equal to 0. So it, it returns a value of error. So with the help of this dot then function, it checks function value. It is easy to value? No, it is an error. So it is going to print an error. So that's why we are getting error in this terminal. Next, to-do list. So it is a function. With the help of which I am going to create a to-do list. In this to-do list, I have taken a list of name task, and I also taken three functions in a closure of add a task, remove task, and a display task. And, and I am returning those functions to the variable to-do list. So in the add a task, I am going to pass the task argument. If the task exists, then I am going to push to the task list. I am going to print task is added under particular task. If it is not, I am going to print task cannot be empty. And later, if I want to remove that particular task from my list, I am going to execute the remove task method. And I am also checking whether the index is greater than or equal to 0 or less than the length or not. If I want to display the task, and I am going to use this display method. In such manner, I am going to implement my task. So here we can see I have called my create to-do list with a variable to-do list, and I'm going to add three tasks and display those tasks, remove the task with index 1, and later again I'm going to display task. So here we can see we got the output. The three tasks are added, one one task is removed, and again the tasks are displayed. So that's all. Thank you.